Earth signs, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do a bonus midweek reading, what you need to know. Been getting a lot of comments of people requesting some midweek energetic action, and we're going to try out this little format. I'm not going to group every Earth sign into just one clump. I'm going to give each one of you your own 6-card spread, and it's going to be much more loose than I usually do. You know, I like to have a structure to my readings, but we're going to do a little free flowing and just see what you need to know. So we'll go through Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. There will be timestamps down in the comments or description. So if you'd like to fast forward, or you could just hang out with me and watch the whole thing, I'd appreciate that. But we're going to start off here with Capricorn. So let's get this deck shuffled up. And before we start in on Capricorn, real quick promo, if you could illuminate the like button, you know I'd greatly appreciate it, my good friends. And also, if you'd like to have a personal session with me, you could check out my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The September schedule will be going up in a few days, and actually there's still a couple of slots left for the month of August. So if you're interested, please feel free. We could do some cards, get the cards flowing, maybe a little spiritual coaching, or if you just need an empathetic ear, I'm here. So let's go in and start with Capricorn. What do we got for the lovely Cappies? One more shuffle. Now, the last reading I did for Capricorn most recently, it was titled An Important Warning, right? And there was a lot of energy where Spirit's like, hey, watch out for this one. Watch out for people that make promises and don't follow through, or people that weren't being the most honest. It was like really in-depth. So hopefully you're not dealing with too much of that. But we're going to see what you need to know right now. We're not even going to put a time limit on it or a time period, but technically at the time of this filming, we're in early Virgo season. But what does Capricorn need to know? Okay, starting off with the Fool. That's always a great card to begin a reading with because, you know, the Fool is the first of the major arcana. I'm sure some of you could already tell we're using the beautiful tarot in Wonderland. So I like starting off with the Fool. All right, this is a little bit of a go stop, right? Well, you have the Seven of Pentacles right here in the center, which again, I don't dislike it, but these are just two energies that present in totally different ways. Let's get one more here for you, Capricorn. And yeah, we're just going to try to keep the lens open of what you need to know. Now, we do have the Page of Wands, which is fire energy. And one thing I could say about all of these is that they represent external forces, external influences. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings of archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. So again, with the elements, a lot of fire, a little bit of earth. Now, technically, the Fool could be said as like fire and air, but we're going to go fire and earth. And the reason I say that they're outside influences is because the earth, that's your power element, your comfort zone, but it represents the material world, right? It could be stability and security, predictability, routine, all that good stuff. But earth energy is about money, work, business, finance, home, family. So the world around us. The only downside to it is that, yeah, it could be a little clunky or a little slow. Then we have the fire on the outside. The fire is the realm of action. So whether it's the actions you take or actions other people take. So you see what I mean? Like the cups and the swords, that's the inside. That's the heart and mind. These are the actions that people are taking and the structures that are around us. So again, watch out for circumstances that are out of your hands. Watch out for certain people or other things that might be acting out of turn, right? And you'll see what I mean, especially with the fire. That could be a little bit wild. So the energy flow is like go, stop, go. Go, stop, go. So there's like this stutter step, or watch out for 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But there could be progress. Let's go through and start building it out piece by piece. So position number 1, we start with the Fool. I like the Fool, as I already mentioned, very first of the major arcana, Aries energy. Some people also link it to Aquarius, and this energy is on the go. I always say, to me, the Fool card is like super optimistic and lighthearted. It's good. It's very similar to Aces and Pages, where it's like open doors, new opportunities. I have the whole world in front of me. So there's a great optimism that comes in whenever we have the Fool card. But the downside to the Fool is that it could be a little wild, right? This in energy, normally it's depicted about to walk off a cliff and the Fool's puppy dog is trying to hold it back. So again, watch out for impulses. Maybe this is an impulsive person. Maybe this is like a snap decision or a snap action. Whenever I see the Fool, it's like, okay, that's good, or that might have potential, but be cautious about it, right? And it does kind of fit into like that warning I was picking up in last week's reading or the most recent reading, where it's like, hey, take your time, don't rush it. Now, moving to the middle, it's almost like a full stop. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, and this card is usually depicted with the dude standing by the garden with the gardening tool, just waiting around for those pentacles to bloom. I think it's a good card. It can represent things paying off for you. It's karmic. It represents reaping what you sow. What you put forth, you get back in return. So I do like the Seven of Pentacles for a variety of different reasons, but it's not moving, right? It's an energy that's kind of waiting, standing around, or just letting things evolve. Now, if that's advice from spirit, where it's like, okay, you might need to balance out when you act and when you don't, when you're proactive and when you just don't let something affect you, right? Because sometimes the Seven of Pentacles to me is kind of like a gray rock type of energy where it's like I'm not giving any reaction. It's like a poker player. But again, we have the go and then the stoppage. On the back end, we pick back up. We have the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands is very similar to the Fool card. I would say all pages that represent students and messengers. The Page of Wands is super, super energetic, where it's like, all right, let's do this. For some of you, maybe you start feeling reinvigorated. Maybe this is an upswing in energy. So I like the Page of Wands. And again, they represent new paths, open doors. So there's a lot of energetic potential that Spirit wants to make known to you right now. It's not just encouragement. It's like there's still more to come. There's a lot of doors, which I think is good. But the downside to the Page of Wands, it's very similar to the Fool. It could be an energy that burns itself out. It's an energy that can be a little too wild, a little too impulsive. So again, watch the impulses in this time. But I want to dive deeper on all the Cappy. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's give one more quick shuffle. Yeah, we'll start in on that Fool card. And yeah, just like in the usual readings, we'll go intuitive here, or whatever wants to come through, comes through, right? We're going to keep it nice and simple and straightforward here. We're trimming it down, not the usual structure. So why is the Fool card here for the Cappies? What do they need to know about this Fool? Okay. High Priestess in reverse. This is someone that, like, I don't want to say they go against their better judgment, but when I see the High Priestess in reverse, it's like, all right, my instinct was telling me to do this, but I didn't listen. So watch out for ignoring your gut instinct. That's something that definitely wants to be made known. Now, the High Priestess is Pisces energy. I also link her to all the water signs. She is like very spiritual, very intuitive, but she can be a little quiet, a little secretive. So like when I see the Fool with her in reverse, to me it's tying more into the instincts, where it's like, you know what? I knew that was going to happen. So for some Capricorns, maybe Spirit's saying like, hey, you're going to be proven right. Your instinct was on point, but I would watch out for ignoring your instincts in this time, or somebody that does things against their instincts or better judgment. Okay, so I think that's simple, straightforward, and to the point, right? So we're going to keep going. Let's see. And for some Cappies, maybe this is something that's already been done, or maybe this is how someone you're connected to moves, or it's like they go against their better judgment or they ignore their intuition. But it's like a second guessing. Let's go in on the Seven of Pentacles. So the energy moves. The energy is doing something on the front end. So what do we need to know about that Seven of Pentacles? Why does Capricorn need that? Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Hierophant in reverse. Okay. Actually, yeah, the combination of energies here, like this big earthy energy feels like a damn brick wall. Now, the Hierophant is big Taurus energy, right? Usually represents tradition, day-to-day life, routine, solid, stable. It could represent power structures. So like when I see that in reverse, it is very reminiscent to either a tower or a big blockage of energy. So it's like this energy is either running away from something or running into a wall. Now, I know Capricorns have a lot of beautiful determination, right? Great problem solvers, extremely logical, never shy away from a challenge, right? And this does seem like a pretty clear-cut one, especially with the Hierophant in reverse. But the energy I'm picking up of what you need to know is that something may be difficult, but not impossible. Or it's like it's not ideal, but you could still squeeze a little more out of it. Or that might not be the best case scenario, but you can turn it into a win. So yeah, we do have this energy that's front and center, whether it's something that's already going on or something that shows up. But to me, it's like, okay, that kind of sucks, but we keep going anyway. All right, that's not easy, but I'm going to keep going anyway. That classic Capricorn determination. So again, for some of you, maybe it is Spirit giving you a little shot in the arm, like, keep going, you're doing great, awesome. But for others, this energy does seem to power through. So if there is a situation or something going on that's not really ideal, it's like difficult, but not impossible to deal with, right? So we're going to keep going. We're going to see what the Page of Wands has here. So why is that beautiful Page of Wands in the mix? Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So what is this ignoring? What is this ignoring? So intuitively to me, when I see the Six of Pentacles in reverse underneath the page wands, it's like, okay, I'm not going to give any of my attention to this anymore. I'm going to put my attention over here. So hopefully this isn't somebody you're connected to, like doing that towards you. But again, there could just be a thing, a situation where it's like, all right, out of sight, out of mind. I'm not going to give any more energy to this thing. It's like I'm starving something energetically or trying to. Now, again, if you're on the receiving side of this, that could be hurtful, right? Like if someone just like shuts out and it's like very cold and you feel like you're on the outside looking in, that sucks. But for some Capricorns, that could be an advice where Spirit's like, hey, starve it of attention, starve it of your focus. Like, because this energy to me on the back end feels like it's ignoring something or someone, where it's like, yeah, I'm putting my blinders on, not even going to look at it. So we have an interesting mixture of stuff here, Capricorn. But the one thing I will say, even if there is something not ideal or even something that's a little stuck in the muck, this energy here is like, keep going. Difficult, but not impossible. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Uh, let's jump in and see what we got for these lovely Virgos. All right, let's gather these cards up. And we're going to jump in here and start with my lovely Virgo friends. And at the time of this publishing, it is Virgo season, my good friends. I already wished you a happy birthday last weekend, but I'm going to do it again. I hope you all have a very happy birthday. But let's see what Spirit has for you. Let's see what Spirit wants Virgo to know right now. Okay? Yeah, we're not going to put a time constraint on it. Whenever you find it is when you will find it. So what do we got here for the Virgos? Now, the last reading we did several days ago was titled The Massive Omen. And the reason it was showing up that way is because I was getting like number signs, synchronicity, Spirit trying to get your attention, Spirit trying to alter your focus or put your attention on certain things. So I wouldn't be surprised. And it did feel more positive than negative, but I would not be surprised if that continues. We're going to see what you need to know. We're going to look at all these cards in a bit of a different context than we usually do. So let's get it going here for the lovely Virgos. Okay, cool. Four of Pentacles. Now, the energy I always pick up of the Four of Pentacles, depending on the situation, is either awesome and great or super, super frustrating. And we'll talk about it more. There's a lot of earthy energy here, which is normally super comfortable. There could be something that's like, hey, slow down, slow down. So I'm not sure if there is something you are purposely slowing down. It's like we're taking it down a notch. That's initially what I'm feeling from these two cards together. Let's get one more here for Virgo. What do we got? Hey, we got our good friend, the King of Cups, aka Kyle of Cups himself, without a beard, chilling on the back end. So yeah, we got other people's energy here. So just watch out for that in this time. Two court cards and the main three cards is always like a big thing to pay attention to. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But yeah, first look, first glance, mixture of earth and water. And I always say when we mix those elements together, to me, it represents potential, blessings, and abundance. It's just like watering a plant. If you want that plant to grow, you got to add a little water, right? So with the earth and water mix, that's good. There could be a silver lining or a good potential somewhere. Now, when it comes to the earth element, that's your power element. That's your comfort zone. That's usually a good place for Virgo to operate. I always say it represents routine, day-to-day life, stability, and security, right? I love it for money, work, business, finance, home and family, the world around us. So for some Virgos, maybe your focus is outward mostly when this energy is here because this is an external energy. The only downside to too much earth energy is that, yes, it could get a little frustrating. Yes, it can move slow. And that's why I was like, all right, this energy is definitely taking something down a notch. Now, on the back end here, we have the water, which does loosen this up a little bit. Water is the realm of the heart, the emotions, intuition, soft and subtle. Water is big when it comes to partnerships and connections, things or people that we're emotionally attached to, things that we actually care about. So I like water. The only downside is that it's not so predictable. But I think in this context, it's actually good because it loosens up this energy. But let's go through and build this out piece by piece. Position number one, the Four of Pentacles. And the reason this card is so polarizing to me is because in one area of life, it's fantastic, and the other, not so much. Now, if we are looking at this card in context of money, work, business, finance, any of the earthly stuff, this is fantastic. This is an energy that represents accumulation and holding on to, where it's like I'm taking this and I'm stacking it. So if you're stacking those pentacles, this is a good thing. Or if you have anything materially going on, even if you're having some pressure there, the Four of Pentacles is a great sign because it's stability and it's predictable. And I think it's really great. And it represents acquisition. The downside is that this energy, when it comes to personal relationships and emotions, it's an energy that can't let go of something, that refuses to let go of something, that's still holding on to it quite tight. Now, again, I'm not going to pass judgment on that. Whether this is something that just still resides within you and it is what it is, that's cool. Um, if it's, you know, getting into areas like possessiveness and jealousy, because this card could get a little grudgy. Not saying you are, but maybe someone around you has this little bit of energy. um, but moving to the center, the Knight of Pentacles does seem to take things down a big notch. So again, whether that's advice or what you're doing, it's like, hey, let's just cool the temperature here. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is an Earth sign card, so whether it's Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, one of your power cards, clarifier might tell us something that's coming towards you or way you might be feeling. So I think it's usually pretty good in an Earth sign reading. But remember, Knights represent action. They represent movement and communication. So the Knight of Pentacles, out of all the Knights, is just very, very slow, detailed, meticulous. This energy is not rushing whatsoever. So you see what I mean? It's taking the energy down a notch. So for some of you, this could be a very good stabilizing, and that might be what Spirit wants you to know. Where it's like, all right, Virgo, we're stabilizing here. The big downside, though, with these two cards combined, it is like a brick wall. It is an energy where it's like, okay, that thing's there. What do I do with it now? It's like a structure in front of me. I don't know why it's coming through like that. But here on the back end, we got our good pal, the King of Cups, aka Kyle of Cups himself. Big water sign vibe. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio potentially. And remember, the core cards don't always represent people, but I always think it's important when there's a majority of people here. Now, whether these are people coming towards you, energies coming towards you, all of that can be in play. The King of Cups, to me, I always like it because it's like nice, calm, balanced. It's an energy that has its grounded center. So this could be really good, but it's big feelings, big emotions. So in the most positive sense, it's like my cup runneth over. I'm bursting with these beautiful feelings. In the negative, the King of Cups could represent feeling things that we can't control, or just like emotions that consume us. Right. So when we're getting like these two different messages here, like where it's like, all right, for some Virgos, this is beautiful, this is great. But for other Virgos or someone around you, this energy could be all consuming for some reason. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Virgo gang. What do we got? And we're going to start in on that Four of Pentacles. And yeah, just like the usual weekly readings, are just going to go through here. Whatever comes through, whether it's my intuition or the classical, I'm just going to give it right over to you, my good friends. So let's go in on that Four of Pentacles. Trying to keep it loose today. Loose with a little bit of structure. So let's see what's up with that Four of Pentacles. Nine of Cups, cool. Yeah, so for a lot of you, this is really good. This is an energy that's comfortable and content. Now, I just have this polarized type of energy here, Virgo, for some reason, because I think for some Virgos, like, you can't get much better than this, right? And especially in the context of what you need to know. When I see the Four of Pentacles with the Nine of Cups, it's like, I got it all. So for some of you, that might be advice from Spirit, where it's like, hey, be grateful. Gratitude is the attitude, or just know that, like, you are good, you are taken care of, you are abundant. So for some of you, this could be affirmations that I'm picking up here. It's an energy that feels content and has everything. However, when we get to the challenge of it, the Four of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups is an energy that's having a very difficult time stepping outside of its comfort zone. Pressure builds diamonds, and a lot of times in life we need to, step out of that comfort zone to progress in whatever area of life, whether it is work or emotions or anything. It's like we have to do things that are uncomfortable sometimes to get the biggest results. So again, for some of you, it's great, it's happy, it's content, win, victory energy. We'll take it, we'll claim it. But for another portion of you, whether it's you not being able to get out of your comfort zone, maybe it's somebody else, it's like, I'm in my bubble, I'm staying in my bubble, and I'm going to keep it that way, right? Like hermit-like type of energy. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, I have my own bubble that I enjoy being in. But every now and then I emerge out of said bubble to do things that are uncomfortable. I don't know why I'm talking about that. It must have needed to come through for someone. So for some of you, this is beautiful and good. For others, you might need to step out of that comfort zone a little bit. Yeah, because the Nine of Cups to me is an energy that's chilling. It's an energy that's chilling. Maybe there's someone around you where it's like they just sit in the room all day. Like they're just sitting around all day. I don't know why that's there. All right, let's go in on the the Knight of Pentacles. Again, no judgment here, right? I'm just telling you how the energy shows up to me. Okay. Knight of Pentacles with the Emperor in reverse. So remember, in the context of what we need to know, the Emperor is big Aries energy. Some people also link it to Taurus, and he's the King of Kings, right? The Emperor is a shot caller. It could represent authority figures, right? Like the Empress, like when I say something, it goes, right? It could be divine masculine individuals or people in positions of perceived authority. But when I see him in reverse underneath this Knight of Pentacles, there is a bit of an advice here where it's like, hey, let's try our best not to worry about things that are out of our hands, right? Or things that we can't control. Now, I'm a big believer in creation. I'm a big believer in manifestation that, you know what, even if it seems like things are out of our hands, we could set things into motion and achieve almost anything. I'm a firm believer in that. But there is this strong advice where it's like, hey, there's no point in worrying about it, right? Like if there's something that's out of your hands, then it's out of your hands. Whether it's something that's already happened, whether it's worrying about the future and what's going to happen. Emperor in reverse is either one, under the Knight of Pentacles, either one, it's a micromanager, where it's an energy where it's like, I need this way, and if it's not that way, it's wrong, right? Like in school, when it's either an A or an F, there's no in between. It's like, if it's not the perfect way, it's wrong. That's one thing I'm picking up here. So watch out for any individuals or behaviors like that. And again, no judgment here. But a big thing here is like trying not to worry about things that are out of your control or control issues. So hopefully you're not dealing with somebody that's a little too controlling. Let's keep going. Let's see what's up with the King of Cups. And we'll do a quick recap. Again, tons of different things here, Virgo. So I'm kind of glad we did this energy check-in. I like it. Maybe we'll do it more often. Maybe I'll think of different formats too. Thought about like doing shorts or lives and stuff. So let's see what's up with the King of Cups. Maybe we'll experiment, my friends. If you have any suggestions, you let me know, okay? Okay, what do we got? Okay. Now it's an energy of keeping tabs, which is much better. So we have the Page of Swords in the upright underneath this King of Cups, where it's like looking at this thing or checking on this thing makes me feel better. Where it's like scratching an itch. It's like I have an itch and I'm going to scratch that itch. Now, again, with the King of Cups and the Page of Swords, I'm not getting nefarious type of energy. There is a lot of energy of other people, so keep that in mind. My Virgo friends that have energetic sensitivity, watch out for those energetic cords and connections because you might be feeling the energies of others a little more intensely than you normally do. But remember how I was saying here in the center, it's like, all right, try not to worry about things out of your hands. But there could be a very specific thing, situation, or even person where Spirit's like, but just keep an eye on it. Where it's like, all right, well, don't think about it or stress about it 24/7, but just stay updated on it. Keep an eye on it. So there is this energy that seems to check in from time to time. So you know how sometimes you like check the news once a day? It's very similar to that. So again, whether it's a situation, a person, it's like I'm going to just check in every now and then to make sure everything's okay. So I'm getting that scratching of an itch. So again, whether it's someone or something checking in on you or vice versa, it's like I'm not going to focus on it too much, but I am definitely going to check in on it from time to time. I don't know why that's shown up, but I do like the energy on the back end. So as you can see, Virgo, we have a tale of like 3 different readings here. So let's go through real quick before we close it down. Yeah, here on the front, 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. For some of you, it's beautiful, it's solid, stable, has everything it wants and needs. We love it. But for another portion, this could be someone that's not doing too much or not getting out of their comfort zone. It's an energy that could stagnate. In the center, Knight of Pentacles, Emperor in reverse, big message here of not worrying about things that are out of your hands or control. And watch out for anyone that's a bit too much of a micromanager, right? It's either pass or fail. On the back end, we have the King of Cups with the Page of Swords in the upright. It's like scratching an itch of sorts where it's like I'm just going to check in every now and then. So maybe it's like, all right, don't check on it so much, but yeah, just keep an eye on it, right? Like there's something about checking in on something that makes me feel better. So I mean, the energy looks smooth. So for some of you, this is great and fantastic and good, easy flowing energy. For other, there are a couple of challenging individuals potentially. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's get in on the Taurus collective. So let's start shuffling these up. My beautiful Taurus friends. So let's get this deck here. And yeah, I mean, these bonus readings have been very entertaining from my side. I hope everyone's liking them. But let's get in on Taurus, please. What does Taurus need to know? And while we shuffle this up, The most recent reading, and I'm not sure when most of you are watching this, but it was titled "The Surprising Return." And to me, there was this energy of something looping back around. So just know if it shows up within this, or even if it shows up in the near future, there could be a variety of things that seem to resurface or pop back up. Well, let's get three cards out here. This could be something completely and totally different, my friends. Let's get three cards out here. What does Taurus need to know? And we're going to try to keep looking at things through this lens. So we're starting with the Nine of Wands. Okay. It's like very, very protective energy, but we do have the Ten of Cups right next to it. So it's like, I'm protecting these valuables. This is very similar to like having a safe or a safe deposit box at a bank. It's like, no, I'm keeping this safe. It's like my treasure. That is super unique. Let's get one more. Page of Swords, where it's like, I'm watching it. I need to know that it's safe and secure and okay. What is this, Taurus? Now, again, for some of you, this could be like really, really good, but it's like Fort Knox. It's like locking something down. It's like putting up cameras on my property, and it's like security measures, and I'm dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. I don't. It's like fortifying as well. That's super unique. But let's go through. I'll give you the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But yeah, first look, first glance. As far as elements go, we have a pretty good mixture here for this. What you need to know reading. We have fire, water, air. Lots of internal energy here. Fire is the realm of action, so whether it's actions you take or other people take, the energy is high vibrational, it's on the go, it's outside energy. I like fire normally, but it could be a little explosive in nature. In the center, we have water that vibes very well with Taurus placements. Water is the emotional realm, soft and subtle, it's internal energy. So whether it's your intuition kicking off, or it could be artistic creation, it could represent things that we're emotionally invested in, like an outpouring of feelings and emotions, and obviously partnerships. And then here on the back end, we have the Page of Swords, which is the air element, and that's logical, pragmatic. It's about the facts. So it's like we got the feelings and we got the facts. And meanwhile, like these energies are guarding this. That's super unique. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. So position number one, we have the Nine of Wands here, and I just have this energy of securing something or keeping it safe, or it's something about valuables here. So again, whether it's like spirit keeping you safe, for some Tauruses, that could be it, where it's like spirit is insulating, spirit is keeping you safe and keeping you on track. If that's the case, then this is beautiful. Unless some of you are putting up like security systems and buying safes and stuff like that, that's the imagery that keeps showing up in my mind. But the Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior, to me, this is a card in the positive sense of attention to detail. This is an energy where it's like, I have a lot of wisdom because I've been through a lot of things. I've been around the block a couple times. That's what the Nine of Wands says in its most positive sense, is that I have experience and I know what to do, which I think is good. Experience is very valuable when it comes to things. It is protective. It is territorial, right? It's an energy that represents healing as well, right? He does have some wounds, but he's just keeping himself safe. Now, in the downside, this energy could be hyper defensive, like super aware of something, like hyper vigilant even. This energy could represent rejections. This energy could represent blockages. And it's like building a wall. So watch out for communication issues. So I already cannot wait to clarify them, because moving into the center, we have probably one of the top two or three cards in the whole entire deck. We got the Ten of Cups right in the center. Beautiful. And usually it's depicting a happy family. They got cups in the sky, rainbow. It's a beautiful day. It's a card of wins, victories, and blessings, having it all. It is a card of value. It could represent home and family too, of course. So it could be living situations. But when I see the 10 cups, it's happy, right? It's happy. It's everything. So like with these energies keeping guard around it, it's like, I just want to preserve this. So I'm not sure if there is something, a situation that you were trying to keep safe, that you're trying to preserve. Maybe that's advice from spirits. I'm like, hey, Taurus, keep that safe, preserve it. When I get this energy in the center, that shows through really, really strong. Stronger, the advice I'm getting here is stronger than any of the bonuses I've done this week. Like they've all been strong messages, but this is very much hyper thematic. Now, moving to the back end, we have the Page of Swords, and he's shown up for a couple of signs, definitely one of the past water signs as well. And pages are air signs, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Pages are communicators and students, but the Page of Swords is defensive, right? It's an energy that's got its guard up, so it'll talk to you, but it's going to keep an eye on you. And that's why it's called the Watcher of the Tarot deck, right? The Page of Swords is observing, it's watching. So you see what I mean? Like when we look at how all these cards fell, whether it's spirit protecting you and keeping you safe, whether it's protectiveness that you're putting into place, it's super territorial and it wants to preserve something. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Taurus. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, just like the usual weekly readings, we're just going to go intuitive here, my friends. um, Whether it's just an intuitive message that comes through or we mix in some of the classical meanings, we're just going to go with the flow and see what comes out. So let's go in on that Nine of Wands. Why is that Nine of Wands? It is an energy where it's like, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. Okay. So we have the Six of Cups in the upright, partnerships, connections, whether it's a person you're very skeptical about. For some of you, it could even be spirit saying, like, hey, Taurus, keep an eye on this person. Like, yeah, just check in with this. I was getting the same thing in the Virgo reading where it's like, I'm checking in. I'm checking in. It's not like I'm watching 24/7, but it's like I'm observing. Like if you have a Ring bell camera and like you get an alert and then you check it. And it's not like you're looking at it 24/7, but you're periodically checking in on something. For some of you, that's what I'm picking up here. So whether it's something, and remember what you need to know, whether it's someone checking in on you or spirit asking you to check in on someone else, it does feel periodic. Now, the Six of Cups, aside from soul ties, soul connections, all that good stuff, is my biggest card of the past. It's my biggest card of history. So when I see the Nine of Wands with the Six of Cups, whether this is something you are still healing through, for some of you that could be the case, whether it's a wound, a situation, I'm still working through it. It still affects me to this day. But for a portion of you, this energy is like, oh, I've seen this before. So watch out. And that makes sense with what I was seeing in the most recent weekly reading. So whether it's a problem, a situation, a person, it's like this reminds me of something where I've dealt with a very similar thing before. I've seen this and I know what I have to do to solve it or keep it safe. We're going to keep going. So for some Tauruses, what you might need to know here is that you already know what to do, or you will know what to do because you've seen it before. Let's go in on the Ten of Cups. See what that has. So, all right, Chariot. Yeah, this is good. And it is an energy that is trying to just keep something safe because the Chariot, to me, aside from being the Cancerian energy, is a warrior in a chariot. So notice, we have built a perimeter around this Ten of Cups. So for some Tauruses, whether this is you just trying to preserve your peace, trying to just keep yourself in your own bubble, everything's safe, there is this energy that's like building fortifications around something. So as far as what you need to know, maybe spirit is urging a little bit of that. And that could come in a lot of different ways where it's like preparation is key, right? It doesn't mean you have to assume the worst case scenario, but there's nothing wrong with being prepared. Right? I don't know why we're going this road, Taurus. Now, the Chariot is either coming or going. This could deal with like vehicles and cars and trips and vacations, of course, but it's a very determined card and it always depicts a warrior. So this card can be confrontational. Watch out for issues within the family or people you consider family with the Ten of Cups and Chariot, because there could be a bit of a pushy energy here. But aside from that, to me, it's like I'm protecting something. I'm keeping it safe. I'm putting plans in place. Like worst case scenario, this will trigger this. It's been here strong. So for some Tauruses, it could just be spirit saying like, "Hey, just be prepared. Nothing wrong with preparation." And hopefully, for most of you, this is spirit protecting you, right? Maybe that's it. Maybe spirit's just building fortifications around you, right? So let's go in on the Page of Swords. And we'll do a real quick recap before we shut it down. This one has gone in a direction that I was not predicting, my friends. So what's up with the Page of Swords, please? Same thing. Okay. So we have the Hanged Man, and this energy is not taking a lot of action, but what is he doing? He's observing. He's watching, he's strategizing and planning. So when I see this guy underneath this Page of Swords, it's like I am taking in information. I am studying this thing. I am learning about this thing. So again, what like for some of you, if we are to go like best case scenario, maybe there's a thing or a topic that you're studying about or trying to learn more about. It's just super, super observant with what I'm picking up here on the back end. The Page of Swords and the Hanged Man, that's eyes on. So for some of you, the advice could be, yeah, keep an eye on it, right? Like there's something where it's like, just be aware of it, keep an eye on it, keep the defenses up a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to be completely shut down, but preparation is key. But for another portion of you, this energy, maybe you are being researched. Maybe you are being observed, right? Maybe someone, because it's like people observing. There's like so much of it going on. Now, the Hanged Man gets a bad reputation. People think it's a miserable card, but it's really not, right? You see him there, he's drinking tea. Even in the classic rendition, he's got like this big halo. So he's upside down, but he's chilling, right? And he is watching and taking in all that information. So again, for some Tauruses, maybe there is something that Spirit wants you to keep your eye on, something you might want to learn about or study up about. That's very possible here. So we have some very consistent themes this week. And again, you might be being observed too. We'll just leave it at that. But let's go through, do a quick recap before we close down, Taurus. Yeah, if you look in the box here, position number one, we have the Nine of Wands with the Six of Cups and the upright. So again, watch out for any individuals reverting and stuff like that. And the main thing I was picking up here was like, I've seen this before. So whether it's a thing, a person, a situation, it's like I know how to handle it because I've seen this before. So there's a lot of things that could pop back up. In the center, we have the Ten of Cups with the Chariot underneath it. Watch out for a little tension within the family unit, but for the most part, a lot of you here, this is just that territory being built around something to preserve it and keep it safe. So for some of you, it might just be your own peace. It might just be your own peace, your own peace of mind. You're in your bubble, cool. Or spirit protecting you. On the back end, we have the Page of Swords with the Hanged Man, taking in a lot of information. And since the beginning of this, I've been picking up the surveillance, like things like a safe and a bank deposit box, and I'm securing this, and there's something about preparation. So Taurus, do with that what you will. Please take a screenshot, my friends. That's what I have for you for this bonus reading. And yeah, my friends, if you enjoyed this format, let me know. Maybe we'll start doing more midweek energy checks and maybe other formats like shorts or lives, whatever. You just let me know what you want to see, and I'll try to make it happen, my friends. Much love, and I'll see you again soon.